Hello and welcome to another edition of Momentum. I'm your host, John Bricado. My first guest is Fong Lee, a senior civil and environmental engineering major from Brandon, Mississippi. Fong, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So you recently won a fairly prestigious scholarship. Why don't we start by you telling us about that?
Yeah, so it's called, it's funded by the Astronaut Scholarship Foundation. Basically, it was started in 1984 by the 6 remaining Mercury 7 astronauts, and their ultimate goal was to basically fund American research and innovation and make sure that it stays in America, basically. But yeah, it started out with a $1,000 donation from each of the 6 astronauts, and then it's slowly grown over from 1984 up to now to up to $10,000.
Oh, wow, okay. So do you have any, I'm sure you get this question a lot, do you have any space aspirations since it's an astronaut scholarship?
Well, the astronaut scholarship really, while it does focus on aerospace research, it also focuses on innovation in other fields like mine. So I'm in civil and environmental engineering. So while I don't really have any space aspirations, the closest I've thought about going into space is going to Space Mountain in Disney World, but you know, that's about it.
Okay, all right, fair enough. And speaking of your major, what are your what are you interested in within civil environmental engineering, research-wise, and so forth?
Yeah, so the research that I've done in the civil and environmental engineering department has really focused on hydrologic modeling. Okay. So the past research project that I've been on is focusing on the rain garden that's been built on campus at the landscape architecture department, EPA funded, but we're trying to figure out what parameters are improving water quality and also retaining helping reduce the flow of stormwater through the wastewater systems. Okay. But now I kind of want to, for graduate school, I kind of want to get away from water and more into kind of like sustainable systems. So trying to model like social, environmental, and physical systems with the goal of designing sustainable cities that are resilient to climate change, but also promotes equity through minority communities.
Okay, and so this is, it sounds like career aspirations. That do you want to get into industry? Are you looking at grad school? What's the future hold?
Yeah, I think right now my current plans are going in, to get a master's degree, and if the research pans out with that, I think I'd like to continue on with my PhD. But right now the focus is to get in, complete my master's degree, and then get into industry.
Okay, all right. And I also understand that you are very active in Engineers Without Borders. So tell us a little bit about that organization and what your role in it is.
Yeah, so Engineers Without Borders is a national organization. It focuses on implementing sustainable infrastructure in developing communities. And the way it works is that basically you have a 5-year commitment to a specific community. And so MSU's last project was in Zambia, installing water wells for this community in southern Zambia called Simwatachela. They experience a 6-month dry period where they have no water whatsoever. So during the wet season, they'll have to dig up these hand-dug wells, basically, which are just holes in the ground, and they'll collect water in them, but over time they just become ridden with diseases like cholera and hepatitis. So our main design solution was to implement these 9 bore wells throughout the community, and the community is about the size of Oktibbeha County. So over the past 5 years, we've been able to affect that community in more ways than just providing water. We've also provided education, a means of doing agriculture, and just overall improved health.
Okay.
But yeah, then we finished that project, closed it out. It's been a really sad process closing it out, but now we're focusing on a new project in Ecuador. It's a water distribution project. So basically, they're located in the Bolivar province of Ecuador, which is on the western slope of the Andes Mountains. And in the past, they've never treated their water system. They currently have a gravity-fed system that hasn't been treated. It comes from a spring. So our goal is to repair the pipes throughout the water distribution system, pressurize it, and then install 2 chlorinator tanks to treat the water.
Okay, all right. And so you hold a leadership position, I believe, in that organization, Engineers Without Borders?
Yeah, right now I'm serving as the president. So I've been in talks with the NGO of that community. It's called the Instituto of Ecological. It's really a long Spanish name that I can't really pronounce. But basically, that organization helps to secure water rights in that watershed. Okay.
And is that organization limited to civil and environmental engineers, or are there other majors that are involved in it as well?
Yeah, so it's actually not limited to any major at all. We invite everyone. Our last president was actually a chemistry major. Yeah, so yeah, Engineers Without Borders really focuses on an interdisciplinary solution, so that's why we like to have a lot of majors input.
Okay. And I also read that you work as a mentor, I believe, in your department. Why don't you tell us about that activity?
Yeah, so it's a part of ASE, the American Society of Civil Engineers. So our goal in the mentoring office is just to help incoming freshmen and transfer students transition from their first year from high school all the way to or from high school or transfer or community college through transitioning to university.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we do that by hosting a lot of like community career prep sessions. We do a lot of schedule advising. We help them with learning like Excel, a couple other softwares that we commonly use in civil engineering. So we just help them with everything. We even help them find places to live if they really need that help, or finding the best places to eat.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a really great opportunity. I really like getting connected with the freshmen and watching them grow, see all the research that they've done throughout the years, all the
Right.
internships that they get, and hearing about them like 3 years later. It's
Yeah.
a really rewarding experience.
And so did somebody mentor you? Is that sort of how you got involved with that?
Yeah, exactly. So I was originally in computer science, and I switched over to civil engineering because I kind of realized I didn't want to stay in the office all the time just coding my days away, and I really wanted to get into the field. So decided to switch into civil engineering, walked into Dr. Chirax's office. He's the department head of civil engineering.
Right.
He gave me a mentor. Her name was Emily Fair, and she has been just the greatest inspiration to me. She's helped me really grow as a person, and I really admire her, and she's the reason why I'm a mentor today.
Well, Fong, it's been great speaking with you. Congratulations on the scholarship and best of luck in your future endeavors.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on here.
Right. We'll be back after a break.
What drives you? What pushes you forward? Is it an appetite to be the best or a calling to make a difference? For those of us here at Mississippi State University, it's both. We're designing a future where cutting-edge hybrid technology isn't imported from overseas, but exported from our own backyard. We're working toward a day when solutions to energy independence move at 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds and are as simple as charging a phone. A day when fuel economy and environmentally friendly are viewed as less of a compromise and look more like this. For us, turning heads in the auto industry is great, but living up to the hype is even better. That's because it's about more than simply envisioning the future. It's about getting there. And here at Mississippi State, we know just the ride to take. When you're the best, everyone wants to see what you'll do next. At Mississippi State University, our team of world-class rocket engineers is venturing beyond boundaries, building rockets like none before. We're launching a new era of space exploration. We've developed cutting-edge technology that's helping us build a rocket that can travel at 4 times the speed of sound. Fast? Yes. But more importantly, revolutionary. For you and for a space program that produces many of the conveniences we enjoy today. We're shaping your life in ways you never dreamed. What's next? Watch us and see.
Welcome back. Our second guest is Ben Armour, a transfer chemical engineering student. He's a junior from Laurel, Mississippi. Thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So you have a very interesting family story, and it's prolific ties with MSU. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I come from a family of 12. I happen to be the youngest, so, caboose the train. And so 6 of us have graduated from Bagley, so it's been a very good school for us, and, engineering's a good field, so we all have decided to, go into it and make it a career, and it's been good.
Okay. And what fields in engineering have your brothers and sisters been in?
So I've got a chemical engineer brother and 2 mechanicals. One's a girl, one's a boy, and we've got a civil, and of course my dad's mechanical. So engineers spread throughout, in law engineers and stuff. So it's treated us well. It's been a good program. So.
And you even have more brothers and sisters in that have been to school here, just not in engineering. So how many total have come through here?
Total in Bagley here, I've got, all my brothers, which is 4, and then I've got a sister that's went through, which totals 5, and and then I've got the in-laws that have graduated from here.
You got a few others that came to MSU, but they weren't even in engineering. So,
right.
So you're really Mississippi State school.
Yeah, Hell State.
Family. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hell State for sure. So I have to imagine that with all those brothers and sisters going to engineering, that had to have been sort of a major reason why you did it yourself. Is that right?
Yeah, it did have a good factor into it, although, it wasn't, I didn't feel completely forced.
Okay.
I did have a decision to make there, and now it did help make my decision because as I saw, I got a better insight into what really happens every day in the engineering field, and it just really proves to be a very good field to go into if you're looking to get involved in, a big variety of work, which chemical engineering specifically, I decided to go into because it just gives me a really wide array of things that I can get involved in after I graduate and get into the industry and everything. So
what particular areas in chemi are you interested in? Do you have
right now I'm not. I'm mainly just trying to go into industry as soon as I graduate and, get my bachelor's and, maybe work in a plant or something like that, maybe oil and gas. I really don't have a specific preference as to, what type of work I do yet, which is why I plan to get involved in the co-oping program so that I can kind of get my feet wet and get a better idea of what I like and what I don't like, which, because I'm pretty, I enjoy most of the things I do, which is kind of a problem trying to find exactly, the thing that I want to do. I don't know. I don't like keeping those doors closed.
Sure. And so your siblings that are in engineering, are they all in industry? Did any of them go to grad school or anything like that? Or?
Yeah, typically what they did is they started in industry, kind of learned about the work that happens on the ground level, learned about the, just the everything that happens, right there in the plants and things. And some of them moved up into more financial decision making and things like that. Some of them stayed in the technical side of engineering, but it all depends on, I guess, what they are interested in doing and what they thrive in. So,
well, Ben, it's been great talking with you today.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. That's our show for today. Remember that you can follow us on social media at MSU Engineering on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.